Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton came perilously close to colliding in a heart-stopping moment during the race, an incident that was immediately placed under investigation. Here's what you need to know. After bolting on a fresh set of hard tyres, Max Verstappen set his sights on climbing back up the order, and he wasn't wasting any time. With clinical precision, he began slicing through the lower half of the grid as his second stint got underway. Soon enough, the reigning world champion found himself behind none other than Lewis Hamilton, who was running at the back of a tight group that included Liam Lawson, Oliver Bearman, and Isaac Hadjar. Verstappen shadowed the Ferrari for 5 laps, biding his time before launching an aggressive move down the inside into the fast and fearsome Turn 4. The daring pass saw Hamilton veer off and cut across the runoff area. Though the maneuver raised a few eyebrows and earned a post-race investigation, it was ultimately left for the stewards to unpack after the checkered flag. Following review, the stewards opted for a no further action verdict. They concluded that Verstappen hadn't forced Hamilton off the circuit in the Turn 4 incident during the Hungarian Grand Prix. Hamilton chose not to appear before the stewards, but Ferrari's representative confirmed that the 7-time champion had taken evasive action of his own volition. No contact had been made. Verstappen, for his part, argued that he would have left more space had Hamilton stayed on track. The official report stated, the driver of Car 1, Verstappen, stated during the hearing that he had gained some momentum on Car 44 Hamilton out of Turn 3 with fresher tyres, and used this momentum to make a move on the inside into Turn 4. He further elaborated that he was in full control of his car and could have stayed further to the inside to leave space for Car 44 on the exit. However, he said, as Car 44 had gone off track, he elected to use all of the track on the exit. The team representative of Car 44 confirmed that there was no contact between both cars and further stated that the driver of Car 44 chose not to attempt to remain on track. Taking all this into account, the stewards determined that there was no contact and that the incident does not qualify as forcing another car off track despite the ambitious nature of the overtaking attempt and take no further action. Verstappen shrugged off the incident after the race, downplaying the drama by saying there was nothing really to the move. He also couldn't help but point out Hamilton's absence from the stewards' hearing, suggesting it showed the 7-time world champion wasn't all that interested in contesting the overtake in the first place. The thing is that nothing happened, Verstappen said. We didn't even touch. That's the thing. So, for me, it's a bit difficult to understand why we have the investigation after the race. Lewis was not there, but we explained our side of the story. I don't think Lewis actually felt a lot for it, because if he really felt something for it, then of course he's there in the steward's room. I think both of us didn't have the best of weekends anyway. That's just that one little thing. The more important thing is that we have to look at our performance, which was not good. I went for a move up the inside because it's a fast corner, but with downforce, you're a bit more under control anyway. I think he realized very late that I was up the inside there. So then he turned out of it a little bit and then went off the track. And that was it. We didn't touch. Nothing happened. Opting for a 2-stop strategy, Verstappen found himself mired in traffic for much of the race, stuck behind drivers like Fernando Alonso, who were stretching out their opening stints. The traffic jam meant Verstappen had to work overtime, executing several on-track passes just to claw his way back into the top 10 after his first stop. After the race, he said, like my whole weekend, there was just no grip and I was just struggling a lot. Not how we want to be, but I knew it was going to be a tough day. Speaking on Red Bull's chances of winning another race this season, Max Verstappen has voiced serious doubts, citing their recent slump in form. Speaking to Dutch media on Saturday, the reigning champion admitted he's been throwing everything at the RB21 setup this weekend, but nothing's sticking. We've tried a lot of different things, but at the moment nothing is working. Of course, I have some ideas, but I can't always talk about them publicly. We'll just have to wait and analyze everything after the weekend. In the end, it doesn't hurt that much now because we're not really fighting for anything anymore. Although the tight, twisty layout of the Hungaroring, known for demanding high downforce, might partly explain the car's lack of pace, Verstappen isn't leaning on that as an excuse. Last year we qualified third here, only 4 thousandths away from pole, so it wasn't that difficult back then. I'm not blaming the track at all. There's just something fundamentally wrong this weekend. While Verstappen clarified that his concerns were mainly about this particular weekend, his outlook for the rest of Red Bull's season isn't much brighter. When pressed by Dutch media about whether he believes he can win again under normal race conditions this year, his response was far from positive. No, not the way things are going right now. That's just the way it is. It's clear. There's nothing I can do about it. I could get angry, but that won't make the car any faster. Despite how qualifying played out, Verstappen still sees McLaren as the team to beat in Formula One right now. And when asked whether the Woking outfit now boasts an even more dominant package than Red Bull did during its peak in 2023, Verstappen offered a guarded reply. That's hard to judge if you haven't driven both cars yourself. Let's just leave it at that. Otherwise we'll get all these stories again, and honestly, I'm not really interested in that. Red Bull advisor Helmut Marko admitted the team's strategy didn't quite pan out, but added that even in an ideal scenario, Verstappen could have hoped for no better than 5th or 6th at the Hungaroring. He told reporters after the race, one stop would have been better because the overtaking was really difficult. So maybe 6th or 5th. But the speed? It's just funny. 2 or 3 laps. He was doing the same laps as the leaders. But we believe we know what went wrong. On the first stop, the tyres were gone, and the second stop we thought we could overtake. But as we saw for a couple of laps, yes, the speed was there, but then it was over. While Verstappen pointed to a deeper, more fundamental issue with the RB21, Marko offered a different diagnosis: tyres. Specifically, he said the car's mechanical and aerodynamic setup simply failed to get the Pirellis into their optimal temperature window, a critical factor in performance. Both Verstappen and Yuki Tsunoda had been vocal all weekend about a lack of grip. The tyres didn't work, said Marko. I say it's only here, and I don't think it will happen again if what we believe was the reason. Red Bull team principal Laurent Mekies took to the team radio to issue an apology to Max Verstappen following his frustrating 9th-place finish at the Hungarian Grand Prix. Sorry, Max, we didn't give you the car you deserved, Mekies told Verstappen after he took the checkered flag, but thanks for trying as hard as you did. Speaking to the media after the race, the newly appointed team boss addressed the team's underwhelming performance. It has been a very tough weekend from the first lap in FP1, and the race reflected this. We have certainly missed something quite key this weekend and looked at many things with both Yuki and Max to try to get back to the level we had and get the car in the right window. The team have tried everything, but the underlying performance was missing to be able to fight at the top end. So here's the big question. What should Red Bull focus on over the summer to get back on track? Let us know what you think in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, hit that like button and subscribe for more F1 content. Thanks for watching.